All right, so introduction, who am I and why should you listen to me? This is me right here. All right, guys, so just to introduce myself, my name is Brian. I have over 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. The reason why that's significant is because a majority of those subscribers came from me posting credit card content for the past 2 years. I've helped hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people educating themselves in the world of credit cards and finance. So my subscriber count is kind of like the social proof that I have with the amount of people that I've influenced. If you don't trust me, you can just go on my YouTube channel and click through some of my older videos to see what I am talking about. I'm also the founder of TCS. It's a Facebook group. We have almost 30,000 members on there, and I have 15 plus credit cards myself, and I've accrued well over 1 million points in under 2 years. Right now, I do believe I've about 1.5, maybe close to 2 million points. And next slide. I was a speaker for a conference. It's known as Finance Buzz. If y'all click on some of these links, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, just so you guys have proof of who I am. I think it's always important to know exactly who your teacher or educator is. I have been featured in Forbes, Consumer Affairs, WWD, and CNBC. Just click on any of these. It'll take you to my website, and you can go ahead and see exactly what I'm talking about right there. One last thing, I did do an interview for a Netflix documentary show. It is actually pretty popular. But because they have not been released yet, I can't say exactly what the name of it is. I made an Instagram post saying I was in it, and they emailed me telling me like I can't be doing that right now until the episode comes out. But that's just like another bit of social proof in this space just for you guys. When that episode comes out, I will be posting it over on my Instagram, so go follow me there, and I might do like a whole episode of me like reacting to my scene in that documentary. All right, so we have some free gifts and resources that you guys can check out as well. We have the Facebook community, like I mentioned a little earlier in this video. We also have the Discord. It is completely free to join. If you guys click on the presentation, it'll actually give you the direct link in order to sign up for what I am talking about. I will have the download link for the Ultimate Guide complete for free, link down below in the description. So if you want to follow along or you want to share this presentation with someone else, you can go ahead and do that and follow along, or you can just simply just watch this YouTube video. Everything will also be linked down below in the description alongside free money, stocks, credit card referral links. They support my channel as well. They're at no cost to you. If you don't use those links, it's completely okay. If you want to take your friend or your sister's referral link for some of these credit cards, I actually recommend you guys to do that. Go ahead and help out your family member. But if you want to support this channel and you don't have any family members or friends that have some of these credit cards where you can use links for, you can actually go ahead and click on some of these to use mine. So right here, if we click on my top 10 credit card list, it'll actually give you the list of my favorite credit cards, the ones that I personally use, and it'll also take you to some additional links. So I have random stuff in here: Acorns, Ebates, $250 in Bitcoin with BlockFi, 2 free stocks with Webull. So all of this linked down below in the description if you guys want to support the channel. Okay, I do have to mention we do have an advertiser's disclosure, just to let you guys know, just to be transparent. They do give me a small commission. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. Okay, so for this video, here's the outline on what we're going to talk about. So first, we're going to be talking and discussing the benefits of credit cards and why it's so important. Number 2, we're going to talk about the do not rules of credit. Number 3, we're going to be just going over how you can get started. Number 4, before we even talk about which credit cards are the best, we have to understand the basics of credit, because it goes a lot further than you actually would think. We're going to talk about why credit is a lot better than debit. I know I have a lot of beginners out here who are probably transitioning over from a debit card. So we're just going to be covering all of our basics and make sure that you at least know the proper fundamentals before we get into some of the harder things. We're going to get into credit score 101. It's incredibly important to know exactly what makes up your credit score. If you ever want to get a house, if you ever want to finance that dope whip, okay, you're going to need to know exactly what makes up your credit score. Number 7, most importantly, we're going to talk about how to make money with credit cards. There's no point in getting these cards if you're not going to make money, if you're not going to benefit from them. So we're definitely going to be going over that. Number 8, we're going to be going over the multi-tier credit card system. This is something I personally made. Okay, this is all things that took me a very long time in order to figure out the pros and cons so I can give you guys the best amount of information. On top of that, we have the God tier credit cards, some of the cards that I think everyone needs to add into their wallet. We'll talk about number 10, how to apply for your first credit card. Number 11, credit card sequence roadmap. So which credit card you should apply for, what you should get after that. Number 12, unlocking your card's full potential. No point in getting these cards, getting approved, having the best ones if you don't know how to unlock the full potential. We're also going to be talking about point redemption. That is another important aspect. If you want to fly for free, if you want to travel the world, whatever benefit you're looking for, it really starts with knowing how to redeem those points. And then number 14, be a paladin. I hope I spelled that right there. But being a paladin just means you're wise. You know exactly what to do next, and you're just smarter than you were before. All right, guys, so we are now in the next slide, and this is benefits of credit cards. To start out, number one with convenience, very easy. Credit cards are just simply a lot easier and more convenient to use than if you're using cash or even a debit card, which comes with a lot of compromises. If you aren't liquid, if your paycheck isn't rolling in and you have a debit card in your wallet and you might go negative on a large purchase, credit cards don't give you that type of limitations. They do come with credit limits, which we will discuss later on in this video, but they're just way more convenient in terms of trying to pay for different items. Number two, security. If you lose your wallet, if someone pickpockets you and you only had a debit card in there and that was access to your main checking account, you have pretty much lost that money, okay? If someone pickpockets you and you have credit cards in there, that money that they take or that those charges that they rack up, they all go into pending charges that the credit card issuers at an instant moment, they will go ahead and make sure that those charges are canceled. It's not your money when you have a credit card. It's the bank's money. They're going to do everything they can in order to make sure that they are not losing out on money to a lot of the scammers or pickpocketers or whatever the case may be. So you actually have a lot more security, a whole new layer compared to if you're using cash, which is gone, or debit cards, which is pretty much gone as well. Credit cards, if you lose it, you can just cancel it. You can lock that card. There's a lot you can do if you happen to ever lose your wallet. Now, credit cards also come with free money, free travel, free food. It's all just free stuff. So free money comes in many different ways, whether it's cash back, whether it's a welcome bonus, which we'll talk about, or it's additional benefits. So a good example is my American Express Platinum card. Oftentimes, it'll give me an Amex offer where if I shop at a particular store like Home Depot, or they recently had a Best Buy promotion, if I go to Best Buy and I spend $50, they'll give me $50 back. You can get free travel with your credit cards. You can get free food with your credit cards. Now with American Express's cards or even other issuers, you can find that you're able to get different types of food credits to like Uber Eats, Grubhub, Seamless, many different restaurants as well. Now, for number 6, there is a community aspect behind owning credit cards as well. You'll realize that the travel industry is actually pretty dang big, and you'll meet a lot of great people within this industry, and some of them are multimillionaires, some of them are just college students, some of them are teachers, nurses. It's a huge diverse group, which I've also seen within our Facebook community and just the YouTube community that I've built over the past few years, and it's amazing. You can find connections anywhere. If you're trying to become an entrepreneur, you'll oftentimes meet someone who is very successful in there, and the community aspect is just amazing. I've had instances where I'm traveling out of state and I run into people who are also in the credit card hobby. So it is absolutely amazing. I think whenever you're making free money and you have like a common interest with other people from around the world, the community aspect just comes naturally, and it's awesome. Number 7, flex value. This is pretty much owning some of these credit cards and just knowing that it does come with a little bit of prestige. If you have a janky little debit card from Wells Fargo or something, it's not the same as if you're slapping down an American Express Platinum or even a Centurion card. So it does give you a little bit more prestige. I do have a lot of metal cards, and I do have a partnership with a company that can transform any plastic card into a metal card. They're called Lion Credit Card. I will have them listed down below in the description as well. If you guys use my link, let them know I sent you. I know the owner of that company. Really good. I've been using him for the past few years, and I can tell you that I've made some incredible business connections and networking, and I know it's not too important, but I do get compliments all the time on my credit card and just people asking me what I do, why I have this, and things like that. So you definitely get a little bit more respect if you care about those things. Not a huge deal, but if you want to sign up for something like that, I have it listed down below in the description of my video. It does also come with purchase protection for number 8 as a benefit of credit cards. Purchase protection is absolutely amazing. So I've had this instance before in the past. I bought a pair of Apple AirPod Pros. You guys know how expensive they are. You don't want to lose them at all. I actually went ahead and lost one of my AirPods. All I had to do is call American Express because I put that purchase on my Platinum card, and instantly they sent me a credit back for the amount that I got, and I was able to buy a new pair. I made a YouTube video on that a long time ago as well. If you buy something, you want protection or you want extended warranty, it doesn't beat what the credit card companies can offer to you. So if you are buying a new MacBook, if you're buying a pair of shoes, and somehow it goes outside the return warranty, call the number on the back of your card. They will help you out. It is amazing. So for number 9, concierge, this comes with some of the more elite credit cards. And this is pretty much like having, in Batman, when you got Alfred and he's got his little waiters thing and he helps you with whatever you need. This is kind of like that. He's not going to be physically in there in person, but if you need a digital concierge, when I was back in Los Angeles before the whole pandemic hit, I actually used this a few times. There were a lot of expensive restaurants I was trying to eat at, but I didn't make a reservation to. I called American Express concierge and they got us seated that same day. And I called the restaurants beforehand. They said I couldn't. American Express concierge went ahead and did that for me. For number 10, there are private events, whether that is within the community or within the events that the credit cards hold. So Chase often has this. American Express had some pop-up stands, especially in New York too. They just give you like free food, free goodies. And if you're at, for example, like a car show. So I was at SEMA, it's one of the biggest car shows in Vegas. They actually had an American Express little rest area where you can chill in there, sit in there. You can use their Wi-Fi, get free food, get free drinks. It was absolutely amazing. I went ahead and did that. And just by trying to get in, the ticket of requirement was showing them that you had an American Express card under your name. So you do have access to things. When sports begin to open up, American Express, Chase, Citi, Capital One, a lot of these credit cards have their own box office seats. So you can buy it through the bank and they will give you some VIP seats, which is awesome too. So for number 11, this is going to be membership perks. Now, you can get a ton of different membership perks. Just off the top of my head, I have Uber Eats Gold that came for free, or I have a membership subscription now to the Calm app with American Express. There are always these random type of membership perks that come along with it. And if you own certain cards, they will give you status at hotels. Now, in order to get status at hotels, it will often take you multiple trips at that particular hotel within a span of a year in order to get that status. So just by signing up for some of these cards, will give you like Hilton Diamond status, Marriott Gold status. Brian, who cares about status? Why does that matter? If you want free suite upgrades, if you want free hotel rooms, if you want them to just treat you a lot better and notice that you have status, this is something that you would want to pick up. Now for number 13, we have bookkeeping. If you have personal credit cards and business credit cards, it makes it a lot easier. So if I am buying something for the YouTube channel, like a new camera or a new lens, instead of putting that on a regular credit card, personal credit card, I can put that on my business credit card, and then my accounting firm is able to differentiate that very easily towards the end of the year. You do not want to mix up personal and business expenses too much, so it makes bookkeeping a lot easier too, especially if you're a young entrepreneur or a business owner as well. Number 14, the benefits of credit cards. Hands down, it builds credit history. Credit history is important if you're trying to get your first auto loan, your mortgage, many other things, personal loans, or if you're trying to lease an apartment, they're oftentimes going to ask you what your credit history is like. Number 15, this also gives you access to 0% or low interest cash. So normally if you want access to liquid money, or you want like one of those same day quick loans, I think they call them shark loans as well, you're gonna have to pay a lot of interest. But if you know exactly which credit cards are offering some promotions, you can get no interest on your credit limit for up to 15 months. That means I can borrow money from the bank, I won't have to pay any additional interest. That's free money that I can use for my business. I can flip shoes, or I can reinvest, or even just pay off some other type of debt that I have. Or if a family member needs a card in order to pay for their food, this is just one easy way to get by. So credit cards aren't all that bad. People often confuse them and say that they're a very predatory source. And if you're a Dave Ramsey fan or follower, you know that he often conveys to people that this is something you never want to touch. It's completely bad. But I'm going to try and logically depict a lot of these misconceptions that exist. Now, for 16, this is leveraging OPM. This is related to what I just said with number 15. OPM is actually other people's money. You may not be able to see it right now because my chat bubble is right there, but OPM is other people's money. You'll see a lot of millionaires, a lot of billionaires, they oftentimes don't use their own cash. They will oftentimes leverage the amount of margin that they have. So whether it's investing into stocks or you're trying to buy more equipment, leveraging other people's money becomes incredibly important, especially if you know and confident that you're able to get a positive ROI on top of the low interest or even no interest promotion cards. So those are all the benefits so far of credit cards. Hopefully this has you interested. Let's talk about how you can get started with this next. So before moving on, we do have to talk about the credit card cheat sheet. There are going to be a lot of acronyms and terms that are going to come up that you guys may not understand. So within the forums, people are often going to say CC, which stands for credit cards, CU, which is credit unions, DP, which is a data point, FR is a financial review, YMMV, which means your miles may vary. If I say your miles may vary, it means what is applicable to me may not be applicable to you. It is dependent on each person. Now, HP or SP stands for hard pull or soft pull. Whenever you do apply for a credit card, if it gives you a hard pull, it's going to show it on your account. If they do a soft pull, it's not going to give you any notification. Hard pulls will temporarily lower your credit scores. Soft pulls will not. KYC, know your consumer laws, know your customer laws, goes interchangeably. PF, personal finance. SO, spouse. MSR, which is minimum spend requirement, is the amount that you need to hit or spend within a certain amount of time in order to get a bonus or a promotion for. And SUB stands for welcome bonus. So if you sign up for a card, oftentimes it's going to give you a sub, which is a welcome bonus. So we got a couple more. HUCA is hang up and call again. If you are getting declined for a credit card and the rep is just not cooperating with you, you can HUCA, hang up and call again, get a new rep and see if they can help you out. UR is the ultimate rewards program or portal. LOC is line of credit. AF is annual fee. EIN is employer identification number. This is similar to your social security number, just associated with your business. FV stands for flex value. PC is product change. CLI is credit limit increase. FR, financial review. If you mess something up, if you are trying to game the system and you get hit with an FR or financial review, you have to submit all of your information, your income, your taxes, a lot of things in order for them to clear it. If you don't pass financial review with a credit card company, they will shut down your account. RAT team, also known as rewards abuse team. POT stands for pay over time. This is a feature that comes with credit cards. If you're working with a charge card, like we'll talk about later on in this video, pay over time is something that they are trying to introduce. I don't recommend people to sign up for pay over time unless they're giving you a promotion. There are a lot more credit card acronyms. So CIC, CIU, CIP, CFU, CF, CSP, and CSR. This is all acronyms for different Chase cards. Chase Ink Cash, Chase Ink Unlimited, Chase Ink Preferred, Chase Freedom Unlimited, Chase Freedom, Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Sapphire Reserve. This isn't necessarily too important, but it's just good to know if you ever see these acronyms that especially start with a C. Most oftentimes I am talking or people are talking about Chase cards. So you got the Gold, Plat, Business Plat, the BCE, Blue Cash Every Day, BPP, Blue Business Plus. So there are some cardinal rules of credit cards that you should not ever do. To start, you don't ever want to carry a balance on your credit card unless you are under a promotion right now. So if it's like a business credit card, not reporting onto your personal credit score, or you have that 0% or very low interest and you absolutely need to, I feel like those may be the circumstances where it's acceptable. But just as a disclaimer, there's no point in getting these credit cards, doing everything I'm going to teach you if you plan on carrying a balance and paying interest. The points will just not add up or just be equal to the amount of interest that you're paying. Number two, do not just use one credit card. People oftentimes sign up for one card and think they are done. You want to diversify your portfolio. You want to have a number of different cards, and you want to know exactly when to use them in order to maximize the amount of money you can get back. Number three, do not cancel or ever close a credit card. People think that if they're not using a card, it's okay to cancel it or close it. If you do that, you will hurt your credit score. If you have a credit card that's been with you for 5 to 10 years and it's your oldest credit card and you decide, I don't want to use it anymore, literally just don't use it anymore. Maybe every month put like a small $5 charge on there, buy a pack of gum or something so the banks don't close it on you. But when you close or cancel a credit card, something bad happens where you lose all that history associated with that card. So you've been paying it off diligently for 5, 6 years and then you close it. You lose all of that and your score will go down significantly. I wish more people knew about this. Too many people DM me and say that they close it. They don't know what to do next. It's too late by then. Number four, do not try to game an MS. So MS stands for manufacturer spending, and there are people who will go ahead, use credit cards, buy gift cards, and try to game the system. For everyone I know who does this, they have gotten caught, if not gotten a financial review at some point in their life. I don't recommend this. I believe you can make just as much money by using credit cards like the banks intended, and you'll still be able to get free flights, free hotels for the rest of your life, completely for free, okay? So you don't have to game or MS in order to find success in this. There was recently a Wall Street Journal article where a guy, I believe it was like $300,000 of MS that he was doing, and he got caught, and he's working with the IRS right now. Really interesting article for you guys to check out if you're interested in learning about how deep it goes. And let me tell you, it goes really deep. I know some of the players in this game that MS millions and millions of dollars. I don't recommend it. I see people doing it. It's just not my cup of tea. Number five, avoid cash advances or POT. So you can use your credit cards in order to get a cash advance. That's going to have a separate interest rate. The POT is the pay over time, like we mentioned earlier. I oftentimes do not use any of those features because it means you're going to pay additional interest on that amount. So you want to avoid that as much as you can. So getting started, what's a credit card and how does it work? Just for my noobs. So credit cards have a credit limit that you can make purchases on and repay on a later date. Very simple, okay? The banks will award you with a credit limit, say of $500, and every month you loan that money from them. So I'll buy a pack of gum for $10. I'll buy a Chipotle burrito for $10. I'll buy some Topo Chico for $5. $25 right there of the bank's money that I use, and then I just pay them back at the end of every month. And when you pay them back, you don't have to pay any interest on this amount. You're just using the money that they have for you, pay it back, you're good to go, and then you reap the benefits. I'll talk more about what a credit card works in a different type of analogy later on in some slides. So debit versus credit, this is a question that many people have. Why would you want to use credit cards over debit cards? So let's talk about this. A debit card, it doesn't build you credit. It doesn't build you history. It doesn't do anything at all. You have to pay in real time. So if I use my debit card and I buy a TV, if I don't have $1,000 in my bank account, I can't buy that TV. Debit card, you don't pay interest, which is nice, but you don't get points either. And for debit cards, you could be liable for fraudulent charges. If someone steals your debit card, they have access to it. Like I mentioned earlier, you are screwed. With credit cards, it helps you build credit. You could pay it off later, meaning if I buy a $1,000 TV right now, I don't have to pay it off till the end of the month. So that could help if you are waiting for a paycheck or whatever it is. Like I mentioned earlier, you could pay interest if you do not pay off that full amount. That's when credit cards don't make sense, but credit cards also have a fraud protection as well. What is better, debit or credit? Credit all the way. If you have a debit card, go cut that up or put that somewhere in your house where no one will ever be able to find it. There's no need for you to carry a debit card around unless you want quick access to ATM cash. But other than that, for security reasons, if you're living in the city somewhere, do not use a debit card or carry that around with you. It's dangerous. Okay, so what is credit? Credit is simply the ability to borrow money or access goods or services with the understanding that you'll pay at a later date. We know what credit cards are. Credit works in a general sense. So I have EG lending a flake money. So a good example of how to explain credit, because you're going to hear about this throughout school, as you grow up, as you become an adult, or maybe if you're already an adult, you already know what this means, but you never had like an exact definition. So in terms of credit, So I had a friend growing up, and when I played rugby, I had this friend. He would always ask all of us for money, right? He would ask for like, hey, $20, Brian, can you spot me 20? And I would go in and spot him that money, and he would tell me, look, I promise I'll pay you back in a week. He would not pay me back in a week, and to my understanding, to what we agreed upon, he would. So I'd always reach out to him and be like, yo, where's my money? Where's my money? He said, you're going to pay me back. And after nagging him like 5, 10 times, I was able to get my money back. That person, that friend that I had right there, I would consider him a very high risk. I would give him a low credit score because he couldn't pay me back on time. Another example is if I had a good friend who said, yo, Brian, I'm in a tough spot. I need $100 to pay my cell phone bill. I promise I'll pay you back on this day. And if I don't, I'll pay you interest on that amount, or I'll just pay you interest anyways. If he goes ahead, takes money from me, I give it to him, and then he pays me back on that specified time or even a few days earlier, I would consider him to have good credit. So imagine that on a large, very, very large scale. If you want to do that with an auto loan where cars are worth $20,000 to $100,000, if you borrow money from someone and you promise that you'll pay that full amount in like 48 or 72 months and you aren't able to, you are showing them that you don't have good access to credit. Your credit score is probably butthole. Okay, so make sure that if you are in the world of trying to get money, you pay back on time. That's simply how it works. So maintaining a good credit score is critical to financial stability and leverage. This is the most important statement that I can find. I need you guys to ingrain that in your head. If you have a good credit score, it shows banks, institutions, and other people in your life that you know how to use money, you know how to pay back, and you're not just over leveraged in debt, and you don't ever know exactly when you're going to be able to pay that amount off. So good credit versus bad credit. If you have good credit, you're going to have more available credit limits. You're going to have higher approval odds, and you're going to get better interest rates. If you have bad credit and you pay late, you're going to get smaller lines of credits. You're going to get denied for a lot of loans. So even if you want to get a car for like $5,000, they oftentimes won't even approve you for that. You'll get the highest of the high interest rates, and you pretty much have less freedom. If you can't buy the home you want or the car you want to have, you don't have the freedom in this world. So is a higher credit score really better? And the answer is yes. Take a look at this. If you have a credit score in the 500 to 589 range right here, you'll pay an interest of up to 16%. I have friends who literally pay 16% interest on their car. And I told them, what in the... If you have a higher credit score, you'll know that you can get an interest rate of 3%. It's not bad. You can find interest rates of 2% now. So check out credit unions if you are paying an interest rate of anywhere from 4 to whatever percent higher than that. Try to bring your interest rate lower, okay? I will save you money just by doing that. And that's the beauty of credit. You can optimize different aspects of your life and make sure that you're not overpaying in interest, which really compounds over time. So there are 3 major credit bureaus. The credit scoring algorithm is always changing. And recently the government too, with Joe Biden, they're trying to implement a whole new type of credit scoring system. But what you have to know is that you have the creditors, you have the applications, you have the debt collectors. They are all data sources. They send their information off to the credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. They all give you 3 different credit scores. So you don't have one credit score, you have 3 different ones. That's why if you go to Mercedes-Benz versus going to, Volkswagen. If one of them is pulling from Equifax and the other person is paying, or the other institution is pulling from Experian, you're going to see 2 different scores because they have different scoring algorithms. So how do you build credit? This is actually a lot easier than you think. So number 1, pay off all your credit obligations on time. If I pay off my rent every single month on time, my credit will go up if my credit score is associated with this institution or my building. Same with credit cards, same with your auto loans. If you have a payment due date and you pay it off on time, your credit score will go up. That's as easy as it is. You want an 850 credit score? Is that what you want? Pay it off on time and do that for many, many years. That's it. Now, number 3, another way to just build credit is first by monitoring your credit history regularly. So you can't build on things that you don't know. You can't build on things where you feel like you're doing well on, but in reality, you're actually not doing a good job. If you want to get a free credit report online, go to annualcreditreport.com. This is what everyone uses. This is what most financial institutions pull from. When I had my identity stolen and they swiped everything, this is what I used in order to start fixing things. So what makes up your credit score? So your credit score is pretty much a pie, and this is always changing as well too. But for the most part, We'll start with payment history. This is 35%. This is what makes up a large majority of what your credit score is. This is why I say don't miss your payments. If you do, your score is going to go down. 30% of this is how much money you owe or your utilization. So if you have a $1,000 credit limit and every single month you use $900 of it, your utilization is 90%. That is not good. You want to keep your utilization low. You can pay off your cards early, or you can sign up for cards with American Express and they don't report utilization. 15% of it goes to new accounts, 10% of it goes to length of history, and then the other 10% is types of credit, so student loans, mortgages. You want to have a wide variety of different credit that you have. You don't want it to just all be beginner, basic credit cards. You want to have different things that can boost your score. So new accounts and hard pulls is closely correlated. So whenever you apply for a new credit card account and it adds to the amount that you have, they say that you shouldn't have too many credit cards. This really doesn't affect you too much at all. So I wouldn't worry too much about that either. In terms of your credit score, as long as you pay it off on time, that's really the main thing that you need to know. A lot of this helps, but it's not huge. So how do you raise your credit score fast? I got this little Okja little photo right here. And this is because we're going to talk about piggybacking. So if you want to raise your score fast and it's absolutely trash, find a family member, find a close friend. There are services that you can pay online, which I never, ever recommend. Don't ever get a trade line, which is what they call them, in order to improve your score. So how does this improve your score? When piggybacking credit, the authorized user gets a cardholder's full account history reflected on their own credit report, which can have a positive effect on their score. That is it. So if I have a 800 credit score and I add you as an authorized user onto my account, I pretty much transfer all of that history onto you, and that will raise your score the fastest, the most drastically out of any other method that I know online. So if you have a bum credit score right now and you're trying to improve it, you got to find someone with a good credit score. If they add you as an authorized user, you don't have to use their account. It doesn't do anything to them. They simply just send the data off virtually and you'll be set. You'll be good to go. And the next reporting month, you'll see that your score went up. So I've seen people who literally went from a 500 credit score all the way into the 700 and 800 range just by doing piggybacking. So how do we make money from credit cards? This is where things get juicy. We know everything now about how a credit score works, how the fundamentals, the basics of it all. Let's talk about some more fun stuff now. So right here on your screen, I have the sign up application page for a card called the Chase Freedom Flex card. This is a no annual fee card. And right here as an example, there are two ways that you can make money. Just by signing up for this card, after you spend $500 in purchases in 3 months, this is known as the welcome bonus or the minimum spend requirement, you will get $200 cash back. So that means if I spend $500, I get $200 cash back on my account. That's absolutely amazing. So if I wanted a 30, 40% discount on a PS5, it was $500. I get a PS5 for $300 right now. I could use that extra $200 cash back for the video games and the controllers or whatever you want. That's one way that you can make money from credit cards. Easy ways, no string attached. The second way is by earning cash back by the amount that you spend. So on top of the money that you get from the welcome bonus, you actually accrue something called cash back or points. So right here, you have an example. So you can earn 5%. So you can earn 5% on up to $1,500 on combined purchases in bonus categories. So every 3 months, Chase will send you a little calendar on what categories give you 5%. This could be gas stations. This could be restaurants. This could be the dining hall. I don't know. They come out with random different categories every single time. You can get 5%. You get 3% on dining. You get 3% on drugstore purchases. Now, I know this doesn't seem like much, but if you're spending thousands of dollars and that accrues just over time and you keep balling out, this 5%, 3%, it really begins to add up over time. But like you see on your screen, a majority of the easy points is going to come from the welcome bonus. And this is why I recommend people to sign up for new cards as much as possible, because this will always beat the little 5% that you get back on some of your purchases. So another card to show you guys an example of some of the free money you can get with this platinum card right here. Just by owning this platinum card, you'll get $100 in statement credits for purchases at Saks Fifth Avenue. So this is split up $50 every 6 months. I always buy myself cologne. I get free cologne. I oftentimes don't like to buy that stuff because I feel like it's overpriced. So I get it for free just by owning some of my credit cards. So Brian, which cards do we start with first? It seems like there are hundreds of cards out here, and I want to pick the best one that is right for me. So I got you guys all set on this. Okay, so when you're first starting out and you don't have any credit, you can start out with something known as a secured credit card. You don't really have to be too picky with this. There really isn't the best secure credit card out in the world. There are a good variety of them, and oftentimes they will just do the basics well enough for you to get started. So with this, I have the Capital One Platinum card, and if you guys click on this card or you click right here, you'll actually be able to open up the application for it as well in case you are interested. So this right here, the way it works is first you have to actually give them a security deposit. So in order to get started with a credit card, if the banks don't know who you are and they can't trust you yet and you can't get approved for any of these cards, you got to start with a secured card. What this means is you will give them money. So say I give them $50 or $100. That is my money. I will have that as a credit limit for that card. You will eventually get this back when you're able to show that you're able to use a credit card responsibly over the next few months. But a secured credit card is pretty much like the beginner training wheels in starting out. If you can't get approved for any real normal card, I was frankly enough able to, I would start with the secured card first. They'll give you a smaller credit line, okay? They will boost your score. They will give you your deposit. That's how easy it is. So if you do have a secured card, make sure you use it for a couple months. The next thing that you can do is to get a beginner starter card. Now, we have a lot of different options to this. These are some of my favorite ones. If I click on this beginner starter card link, you'll actually be able to pull up the ones that we're talking about as well on creditcards.com. So we see this load. Here are some of the different products. Now, a beginner starter card is going to allow a lot of new applicants to get in, but most importantly, they have no annual fee. They don't have a high minimum spend requirement either. So for like the Freedom Flex card, I don't have to spend $3,000 in 3 months. I can spend $500 in 3 months, which any normal person should be able to do. So the Chase Freedom cards are absolutely amazing if you want to get started. American Express has some beginner cards as well. We have Bank America on here, Citi Double Cash, another great beginner starter card. And we also have the Apple card on here, which is pretty popular as well. I recommend starting out with the Chase Freedom card or the Freedom Unlimited if you can. Chase doesn't like new applicants, so I'll give you guys like a full blueprint on what you can actually do. Next slide. So like I mentioned, Chase does not like new applicants, but their points are flexible and easy to use. If you're a beginner, it's just going to be a lot more easier to navigate through Chase just because it is so UI and a lot more friendly. The Chase Freedom Flex card is now a MasterCard, but I haven't had any issues with that card either. If you are using American Express, for example, it's less accepted, at least in the Korean restaurants and some of the places that I go to in my area. American Express has just extraordinarily expanded over the past few years, and that is actually something that they're focusing on. One thing I do want to mention with American Express, though, is that they do like new applicants. They do like strangers entering, and if you do want to get started and you can't get approved for the Freedom Flex card, the next thing I would recommend is the American Express. So for our next slide, this is going to be all about the most optimum plan that you can find. So here is actually what I recommend. I recommend you to start by building a relationship with some of these banks and institutions, primarily Chase. Now, the reason why we start with Chase is because they have something known as the 524 rule, meaning you can only get 5 cards within 24 months. So if you get 6, 7 cards, you're going to be locked out for 2 years and you won't be able to get any more Chase cards. This is why it doesn't make sense to get all other branded cards. You can't get an American Express card. You can't get all these and then try to apply for Chase. You're going to have to wait 2 years. They do this. They are smart about it. This is a rule that's been around for a very long time. So what I recommend, if you can't get approved for the Freedom Flex or the Freedom Unlimited card immediately, start here. Get a personal checking account with them. Okay, you can use it for 1 to 2 months. You can show that, hey, you are a real person. You're not a scammer. You're not someone from another country. You're actually trying to be a real customer. Get a business bank account or a personal bank account, whatever situation you're in. Then apply for one of these cards. Chances are you'll get approved. Make sure that you have a decent score, okay? If you have a score of 500 or 600, you may not get approved for this. I recommend to work up to a 700 credit score. Hold the card for 2 to 3 months, okay? What you want to do after that is look into the Chase Sapphire Preferred. This card is great because it comes with a very high welcome bonus. It comes with an annual fee as well, but you can always downgrade it or cancel this card. You could downgrade it into the Freedom Unlimited, do whatever you want, but it's a great card to hold for a year just because of that welcome bonus you can get. So what I did after the Chase Sapphire Preferred card is I immediately got the American Express Gold card. It's my staple card that I still use today. It's one of the best dining cards that you use. And if you go grocery shopping and you don't want to use the Freedom Flex card, you can go ahead and use the American Express Gold card, and you can still get 4x on your purchases. After this, it's a little bit more advanced. You can really do whatever you want, but I personally recommend you to look into the business credit cards. So many points, so many benefits, so many advantages. If you are an entrepreneur, if you don't have a business at all, make sure you watch my full business credit card guide on YouTube as well. That video has like 100,000 views. People email me all the time saying it's helped them out so much too. So this is really the roadmap that I would personally go with. Now, your miles may vary. You do not have to follow this. If this does not make sense for you, if you're not a traveler, if you like cashback, if you don't like Amex, if you don't eat out, if whatever the reason is, if you don't want to follow this, it's completely okay. This is personally what I believe is just the generic best routine to go. But if you're like a low-income college student right now and you're barely making ends meet, it may not make sense in order to pick the gold card or the preferred card, because these cards do have annual fees. So here are some of the mid-tier cards that I'm going to recommend to you guys. We have the Gold card here. We have the World of Hyatt here. We have the Marriott Bonvoy Business, the Sapphire Preferred, the Cash Preferred, and then the Amazon Visa Prime. These are what I would consider the annual fee cards, but I feel like it's such a good addition to the wallet. So out of all the cards I have 5 of the cards listed on this screen right here. I love my World of Hyatt. It's a $95 annual fee, but the reason why it makes sense is because it gives me a free hotel night every single year. So if a hotel night costs me $200, $300 that I get for free, my annual fee of $95 automatically gives me the difference of whatever that free hotel night is. So this is really meant for anyone who travels. I know there are Hyatts everywhere near me. I know there are Hyatts in New York and DC, and I personally love Hyatt. It's my favorite hotel chain. All I have to do is drive 3 hours to New York. I get a free hotel night, and that is just by holding this card. Marriott Bonvoy Business, same exact principle. You get a free hotel with them, any Marriott in the world every single year. You get the welcome bonus, you get the cashback categories, and then you also get status associated with those cards. So mid-tier cards, let me say, they're valuable. They're a staple to your wallet, but if you don't want to pay annual fees and you don't travel, I would understand why. I would say, though, if you want the most maximum amount of benefits from credit cards, you need to make sure that you unlock these mid-tier cards. So on the next slide here, we have the God tier cards, and this is extremely important in understanding exactly what the late game phase of credit cards is. So when you first get into the credit card game, I know how overwhelming it could be. You want to make sure that you apply for all the right cards. You want to make sure that you make right moves. There aren't that many credit cards out here. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, with different credit unions and banks and all these other companies like Target, or I think Dick's Sporting Goods has their own card, or the Macy's card. There are a lot of credit cards, but in terms of the more valuable and viable options, I feel like the learning curve may be steep, but it really just fizzles out pretty quickly. So I'm sure you can go from a beginner to an expert in the credit card industry in the matter of less than a year. It really doesn't take that much work as long as you are diligent, you're involved in a community, and you are semi-smart. And if you're watching this video, I know that you're smart, so I wouldn't even question that at all. So the God tier cards, I have the American Express Platinum card, the Business Platinum, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the JP Morgan, the American Express Centurion, and the Hilton Honors card. I have the Platinum card. I'll click on it right here. It'll take you to the links that'll show it to you. I have the Business Platinum as well. And if you guys want to sign up for the Centurion card, you can't actually sign up for it, but you can request to get invited for it. So you can go ahead and do that. You need to have an American Express card linked already as well under your name in order to qualify for that. So the Hilton Honors, these are all amazing cards. They all come with great benefits. It's going to be a little debatable on the Centurion card and the JP Morgan card, but at least for these 4 right here, I would consider these the God tier cards because, yes, they have high annual fees, but oh boy, do you get some insane benefits. So I'll share with you later on this video my spreadsheet on these 2 cards and how much money I was able to make. So business tier is a whole nother world. There are so many associated benefits with business tier credit cards. And some of the things I'm going to mention to you is that they do not report onto your personal credit report. You get higher credit limits. You get insane benefits. It helps you with bookkeeping. The list goes on and on. These are my favorite business credit cards. It's the American Express Blue Cash, the American Express Blue Business Plus, the American Express Business Platinum, the Business Unlimited, Business Preferred, and the Business Cash. I have Most of these guys on the screen right here, and the annual fee really isn't that significant because it mainly just comes from the business platinum, which you don't have to get if you don't want, but it still adds a great addition. Plus, another thing, business credit cards don't affect different rules like the 524 rule, which can be a real pain in the butt. So before we get started with the next few slides, I wanted to talk about some quick tips that are going to be very important. If you do apply for any of these cards, you have to make sure the biggest thing is your personal credit score. If your credit score is under 700, work on your credit score first, okay? Make sure you can pay off that debt. Make sure if you have any remaining balances, you get that squared away. And if you have any people in your life to get added as a authorized user, also known as piggybacking that we talked about earlier, make sure you go ahead and do that. But if your score is good and you do get declined for a card, let me share with you this extremely important tip. So if you do get denied for a card, all you have to do is Google reconsideration line for that particular card company. So a lot of these card companies actually have specific algorithms that determine whether or not you get approved or denied for that card. If you get like a pending request, like you need to wait 7 to 10 days and we'll mail you a letter, just wait for that to come in. Oftentimes you still get approved for that. But if you do get denied, which happens pretty often, I would not get upset about that or feel some type of way because it just happens to the best of us. It's happened to me. Call the reconsideration line, okay? This is a manual person. Let them know exactly what your story is. Hey, I found out I got declined. Can you tell me why? They'll say, hey, I think your account history is low, or it's kind of sus that your income is a little low. And you just have to tell them what situation you're in. Hey, I want to build a relationship with you guys. I prefer you over this competitor, and I want to keep working with you. These are real people on these reconsideration lines, and they will oftentimes make a change in the algorithm for you so you can get approved. So if you can't get approved for any type of credit card, call the reconsideration line, get a person on there. They want to make sure that they do a good job for you. Oftentimes they don't want to disappoint people. So find that line and call them. It works for a lot of people. Now, I do also have to talk about COVID pandemic and approval rates. This is really important too because the banks have been affected some of the hardest in the COVID pandemic. So banks rely heavily on T&E, which is travel and entertainment. There's a lot of money in that industry. And because of the pandemic, when that got cut, they were really afraid. We saw interest rates continue to go up, people who were getting foreclosed on and evicted, and it was just not a good situation. I believe there's a lot of PTSD that the banks have from the different recessions that we've had in the past. So they've been really, really cautious. And what this means is approval rates since the pandemic has started has gone down significantly. So if you had a 680 credit score, I know you could get approved about a year ago before the pandemic started for cards like the gold card or even the platinum card, but they made it a lot harder now because they want to reduce that risk. They don't want people who have a high chance of defaulting on the bank's money to be a consumer. So you'll notice that during the COVID pandemic, approval rates went down because of the vaccine, because of everything happening right now. It is starting to go back up. It is nowhere near where it was before this whole thing started. So keep in mind that if you don't get approved, it is also circumstantial because of the current climate of what's going on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is unlocking your card's full potential. We just talked about some of the cards that you would consider getting. Hopefully you have a clear idea whether you're a beginner and you have to get a starter card, or the Chase Freedom Flex card is the next thing you need, or maybe you're more of an intermediate traveler and you have the Platinum card. How can you unlock that card's full potential? How can you unlock that card's benefit? So as an example, we have the gold card and the flex card on your screen. With the gold card, you can find yourself getting 4x back on restaurants or ordering takeout or delivery or just any food that you're trying to dine in at. With the Chase Freedom Flex card, you'll get 3% on dining and restaurants and drugstores and 1% back on everything else. To me, it's a no-brainer to know what cards you have to use, but say you're in a situation where you have both the gold and the Freedom Flex card, you got to do the math in your head and you got to realize what points you value more. Do you like American Express points more because you can transfer them out, or do you prefer to just accrue a lot more Chase Ultimate Reward points? In maximizing your card's potential, it all starts by using and knowing exactly the right card in your wallet. So for number 2, it's all about earning the welcome bonus. If you want to maximize it, you have to make sure that you get the welcome bonus every single time. The Chase Freedom Unlimited, we've used this example a few times now. If you spend $500, you get $200 back. That is one example, but other cards like the Platinum card, it requires sometimes for you to even spend like $10,000 or $15,000 in 3 months. Most people won't be able to even make that money in that amount of time based on your general average salary of your American, which is like 50, 60 grand a year, depending on where you live. you're not going to be able to spend 10, 15 grand in those 3 months. But if you are getting close to that amount, you can use different services that'll help you reach it. So if you feel like you can't earn the welcome bonus on a card, I would hold off on making some bigger purchases. If you're trying to get a new phone, if you're trying to get a new computer, don't get that just yet. Make sure you hold off on it and then apply for the card and then put those purchases on that card once you have some money saved up, because you definitely don't want to get interest trying to chase some of these welcome bonuses either. So a good example of this is Plastique. You can pretty much use this to pay rent or other utilities that you may have. What they do is they allow you to use your credit card, pay on Plastique, and they will mail a check out to whoever you want in order to gain the points. So for where I live, say for example, rent here, which is $2,500 a month. If I got a new credit card, I want to be able to pay my rent with my credit card so I can get that minimum spend requirement like we talked about earlier for the sign up. So here we have with Plastique, they allow you to do that. I actually have a special link for you guys in the description on my video or somewhere on this slide in the beginning, where if you use that, they'll give you $1,500 fee-free dollars. So they'll charge you a small fee in order for this to happen just so they can stay alive as a business. Their public offer offers you no fee-free dollars, but I did manage to work with Plastique. Great people over there, and they did send us a link for our audience to use. So you guys can also go ahead and do that. So number 4, you want to make sure that you use all benefits and credit associated with the card. Here are just some screenshots of my American Express Business Platinum, or some of the credit cards that I have and what I was able to do in 2020. I have this as a PDF. So this is pretty much telling you guys exactly what I pay in annual fees and how much net profit I made. And I go really in depth in details, like even to like the airline incidental fee credits or the purchase protection I got. So a lot of this actually gives me a very good idea on the benefits and credits that each credit card has. If you have a card like the Platinum card, you get a lot. All right, you get the Saks Fifth Avenue credit. The Business Platinum gives you the Dell.com credit. You get free money, and if you don't use it every single year, you're throwing away money. You're just ripping up $100 bills and putting it down the drain. That's not something you want to do. All right, so the next thing that you need to know about is point redemption. So there's no point in accruing 1 million, 2 million, or 5 million points if you don't know how to redeem that properly to maximize that value. So if 1 million points is equivalent to $10,000, $10,000 is still great. $10,000 worth of free money, but you can do a lot better than that. If you can get a redemption where your points are worth 5 cents or 10 cents per point, that $10,000 goes from $50,000 to even $100,000 in travel rewards. So point redemption is actually an incredibly important aspect of knowing how to use your credit cards. It's then just figuring out exactly what you can do to maximize that. So this will oftentimes come in the form of business class flights. If you transfer your points, they will give you a redemption of 5, 10, 15 cents per point, which is absolutely amazing. Yes, business class flights are naturally more expensive. They'll be like a couple $1,000s, but if you do want to experience prestige at some point in your life and you don't want to pay $25,000 in cash, you could pay $5,000 worth of cash in the equivalent of points and get that redemption. So in terms of point redemptions, there are 3 ways that you can go about it. You have in-house redemption, you have 2 transfer partners, and you have number 3, cashing out with Schwab. Let's go over all 3 of them. So in-house redemption is extremely easy. I have my Chase pulled up just as an example to show you, but with Chase right here, they'll give you this whole drop-down menu on different ways that you can redeem your points. So if I have Chase UR points, I can buy things on Amazon. I can buy things on Apple. I can buy Apple AirPods with my points, or I can just get simple cash back. I can pay for my dinner with this. I can get gift cards. I can pay myself back. I can transfer to travel partners. I can travel. I can buy experiences. So they'll do like custom art viewings or like real neat things like that. Or if there are any weird deals with other companies, say like Roomba's doing like a little Chase UR point deal, you can get your points and put it into any of these categories. This is what I would consider an in-house redemption. They will give you an idea of what your points are going to be worth. So if you guys look on your screen, it's hard to read this, but I have about 600,000 points with Chase right now, and that's equivalent to $7,600 with travel or pay yourself back. But if I do gift cards and Chase dining, you'll see that 600,000 points is worth $6,000. So it's clear that if I use my points for other things, travel, pay yourself back, they'll pay me a little bit more. So they'll give me like a 1.5 cent redemption compared to the 1 cent to 1 point redemption. So on here next, this is the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. This is where you can use your points and oftentimes find a much better redemption. I use this and still find myself getting a 2 cent to 2 point redemption. So instead of this being 600,000 points, if I'm able to score the right deal and I get a 2 cent per 2 point redemption, that's worth $15,000. So the second thing that you can do is transfer your partners. So the second thing that you can do is transfer your points out to different partners. This is extremely, extremely important because this is where you can find those massive deals. So with other YouTube channels like Sebi, Mandy, they do a really good job of this as well, or Prince of Travel, my friend Ricky. You're able to get your points, transfer them out to different partners like Aer Lingus or whatever airline you have. And when you go international, you start getting huge, huge redemptions, especially when you start upgrading your seats. So if you want to find a transfer hack, this is a resource that you can use. This is called Award Hacker. So we'll just use this as an example. So say I open up Award Hacker. This is going to show me exactly which way I can transfer my points, a really good resource. I'll go from my area. We'll do Baltimore, BWI, and I want to go to Los Angeles because I love my LA people. So right here, it'll tell me exactly which points I can use. So MR is membership rewards. This is American Express. UR is ultimate rewards. Right here, if I wanted to travel for 20,000 points, I can transfer my membership rewards. It'll tell you exactly what you should do. I could transfer it over to Cathay Pacific right here, get those miles, okay, and then redeem that for a ticket. And if American Express on their platform is doing an incentive, and sometimes they do, they're like, if you transfer it out to a partner, we'll give you an additional like 200 points on top of that. They'll do like random promotions, especially before this pandemic had started. I'm sure they'll pick that up again. If I wanted to use my ultimate reward points and transfer that out, it'll actually tell me right here. So ultimate rewards, I could transfer it to United Airlines and you'll see the redemption that you get. If I transferred my Marriott Bonvoy points, I'd get a 1.38 mileage plus redemption. So you'll see 1 cent and 1 point, not competitive, not the best. Marriott Bonvoy, they overvalue their points, so it's not worth as much either, and you'll see that you get a different redemption. So as long as you study this and understand how it works, you'll be good to go. So the third option that you have is Charles Schwab Cash Out. So this is actually really interesting because what you can do is get a better redemption on your cash. So instead of just doing a 1 cent to 1 point redemption, you can get a 1 cent to 1.25 cent redemption. So if you have millions of points, this actually begins to add up. It's really easy to use. All you do is apply for the card. Once you get approved, you have access to this. You then put in your card number, and then you choose the amount of points you want to cash out. So I have about 500,000 points with American Express. I could get 6,000, I believe, 300 around that number, $6,300 worth of cash. And that's a little better than just cashing my points out one-to-one. So they'll give you that additional $125 instead of the regular amount if I had 300,000 points. So for the next slide, we have exactly what is next. Let's talk about what you should do. You know how to redeem your points. We talked about credit cards. We talked about your credit score. How do we move forward from here? So I wanted to share with you first my current personal finance setup. In terms of credit card rewards, I feel like this really does touch upon the overall general personal finance industry. So I'm just going to go over right here exactly some of the different resources that I use because a lot of you guys always ask me, Brian, what do you use for your checking account? What do you use for stocks? So right here for my checking account, I have my Charles Schwab account. I have my savings account with Yada Savings. I have my business checking with JP Morgan or another company called Oxygen coming up. With stock brokerages, I still use Robinhood, Webull, and Public. With credit cards, I have my Gold, Platinum, and Freedom on top of. With my credit cards, guys, crap, it's over here. I have 2 full credit card binders. I don't want to show you guys inside of them because my numbers are not taped up right now. But I have a lot of my credit cards. So my Gold, Platinum, and Freedom are actually what I use mainly in my wallet. I think my wallet is over here. So I daily drive those credit cards just because it's a lot easier now. But whenever I am working on a new credit card, that's when I'll throw that in my wallet. I'm looking to get another hotel credit card soon. I just find a lot of value in those. So that is something that is up next on my list. If that makes English, that makes no English. So after that, we have my crypto portfolio. So this is BlockFi, Coinbase, and Crypto.com. Amazing different resources. And then for my online shopping portal, if you guys do any shopping online, use Ebates. They'll give you additional percentage, additional cash back for that amount, which is amazing. All right, guys. So for the final notes, this is incredibly important as well. Your miles will vary a ton. So what this means is what matters for me is not always going to matter for you. Everyone has different spending habits. Everyone prefers different things. Some of you guys may love Capital One or Citi, and some of you guys may hate American Express. I love American Express. I love Chase. It may be different for whatever reason it is. Maybe you live closer to some of these banks or institutions, or maybe you just like to live a more simple lifestyle. So just understand that everyone is different. Everyone has their own spending habits. It's all unique stuff, and it's all good, whatever you choose. Number two, you have to realize this one question right here. What do you value? So are you looking to get into credit cards to get cash back? This is someone like Dave Hansen, who has a YouTube channel. He loves cash back. He doesn't care about points and all that, but I love points. I don't really care about cash back. I would rather be able to travel in luxury, get my immigrant parents to fly back to their home country in a first class, business class flight without having to pay real money for it. What do you value the most? Now, the third thing that you guys have to realize is patience is the key. You don't have to apply for all these cards overnight. You don't have to think that you need to become a pro in the span of a day. Patience is key, especially in the credit card industry. Take your time, apply for these cards, do your research, and know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Now, I do have extra lessons on my YouTube channel. So this is going to be all about the trifecta guides. I've talked about the American Express trifecta, the Chase trifecta. I have a full business credit card guide video. It's like a 40-minute long video as well on YouTube. It has over 100,000 views. A lot of people love it. I have other videos talking about how you can get $100,000 credit limit increases or credit limit tips. I also have some instant approval hacks where if you're not getting approved for credit cards, I talk about on my channel on what you can do to do so. So make sure you guys check out those resources. And we are on the last slide right here. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching this video till the end. And if you did watch this video till the end, I'm going to leave like a secret little code or something. Type in BALL. Type in BALL. And I guess that's just going to be our code that I know you guys watch this video all the way till the very end. If you guys did enjoy this video, please comment it down below as well. Just like let me know, hey, Brian, I really love this like long ass video that you did. It really did help me out. There was a lot of value in it, and I can definitely do a lot more on this on some more complicated topics as well. But hopefully this video was able to help you guys out. Like always, don't forget to download this presentation if you guys want to, and also check out the links down below in the description. So I have all the credit card links for you guys to check out. I have stock brokerages, Webull, 2 free stocks at the time of this recording. You can get up to $1,800 back. You can get Robinhood stocks down below. You can get public stocks down below. Check out BlockFi. You can get up to $250 in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. You can also get Coinbase $10. What else do we have? We got so much. Crypto.com. We have $25. So if you even just end up signing up for all of those, you're just getting free money in your pocket. Some of them do require you to deposit like anywhere from $5 to even $100. Most of them don't require you to deposit, but if you do deposit money, it'll increase your chances of getting a higher bonus. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. Like always, thank you all so much again for watching. Don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at CreditBrian. And yeah, I've been talking for a while. Mouth is up. It'd be like that. So thank you all so much again for watching. Much love to you. Have a great day and peace out.